The boy who cried wolf stands as one of Aesop's most renowned fables, a cautionary tale that has echoed through the ages, imparting the vital lesson of honesty. This timeless story centers around a young shepherd boy who, driven by boredom, concocts a mischievous plan to deceive the nearby villagers. In the peaceful countryside, where rolling hills meet azure skies, the shepherd boy tends to his flock day after day. The monotony of his task weighs heavily upon him, and he yearns for excitement. One fateful day, an idea strikes him, a prank that would surely break the tedium of his daily routine. With a glint of mischief in his eyes, he raises his voice and cries out, "Wolf! Wolf!" His shouts pierce the tranquil air, carrying across the fields to the nearby village. The villagers, hard-working and kind-hearted folk, respond with immediate concern. They drop their tools and rush to the boy's aid, fearing for his safety and that of the valuable flock. Hearts pounding and breath ragged, they arrive at the pasture, only to find the boy grinning widely, surrounded by his peaceful, grazing sheep. Confusion turns to frustration as they realize they've been duped. The boy, reveling in the success of his prank, can barely contain his laughter at their bewildered expressions, shaking their heads in disappointment. The villagers trudge back to their homes and fields, muttering about the waste of time and energy. Yet the boy's amusement is short-lived. Soon, the familiar boredom creeps back, and he finds himself once again longing for excitement. Unable to resist the temptation, he repeats his cry, "Wolf, wolf," and once more the villagers come running, only to discover another deception. This pattern continues, with the boy crying wolf time and time again. Each instance sees fewer villagers responding, their initial concern giving way to skepticism and annoyance. The boy, however, remains oblivious to the growing resentment his actions are sowing among the community. He sees only the momentary thrill of his successful pranks, blind to the erosion of trust occurring with each false alarm. As days turn to weeks, the villagers' patience wears thin. They gather in the village square, discussing the troublesome shepherd boy and his disruptive antics. An agreement is reached. They will no longer heed his cries. Let him learn the consequences of his lies. They decide, their faces set with determination. Little do they know that this decision will soon be put to a grave test on a seemingly ordinary day. As the shepherd boy watches over his flock, a dark shape emerges from the nearby forest. The boy's eyes widen in terror as he realizes that this time a real wolf has indeed come to threaten his sheep. Panic grips his heart as he watches the predator stalk closer to his unsuspecting flock. Without hesitation, he raises his voice, crying out with genuine fear, "Wolf, wolf, please, help me. There's a real wolf." His cries echo across the fields, carried by the wind to the village. But this time his pleas are met with silence. No running footsteps, no shouts of concern, only the eerie quiet of indifference. The villagers, having been fooled so many times before, dismiss his cries as yet another prank. They continue with their daily tasks, unmoved by what they believe to be another false alarm. The boy's desperation grows as he watches the wolf close in on his sheep. He shouts louder, his voice cracking with fear and urgency. But his words fall on deaf ears. The trust he had so carelessly squandered now leaves him truly alone in his moment of need. Tears stream down his face as he realizes the gravity of his past actions and the dire consequences that now unfold before him. The wolf, unhindered by any intervention, attacks the flock with savage ferocity. Sheep scatter in panic, their bleats of terror mixing with the boy's helpless cries. The predator tears through the flock, leaving chaos and destruction in its wake. The shepherd boy can only watch in horror as the fruits of his labor, the flock he was entrusted to protect, fall victim to the very danger he had so often falsely proclaimed. As the sun begins to set, casting long shadows across the blood-stained field, the villagers finally venture out to check on the flock. What they find shocks them to their core. The pasture, once peaceful and idyllic, now bears witness to a scene of carnage. Scattered wool and lifeless forms litter the ground, a stark testament to the wolf's rampage. Amidst this devastation, they find the shepherd boy huddled and weeping. His sobs echo across the Nassaland field, a mournful sound that tugs at the villagers' hearts despite their lingering anger. An old man, wise with years and experience, approaches the distraught boy. With a mixture of compassion and sternness in his eyes, he places a weathered hand on the boy's shoulder. "My child," the old man begins, his voice gentle yet firm, "this is the price of dishonesty. Nobody believes a liar, even when he is telling the truth." These words, simple yet profound, hang heavily in the air. They encapsulate the harsh lesson the boy has learned at such a great cost, a lesson that will stay with him for the rest of his life. The gathered villagers nod solemnly, the truth of the old man's words resonating deeply within them. They too have learned a painful lesson about the importance of discernment and the dangers of dismissing all warnings based on past deceptions. The atmosphere is thick with regret, both for the boys' actions and their own failure to respond when true danger arose. As night falls, the villagers begin the somber task of gathering the remaining sheep and tending to the wounded. The shepherd boy, still shaken by the day's events, works alongside them, his actions now driven by genuine remorse and a desire to make amends. The experience has transformed him, stripping away his childish desire for attention and replacing it with a newfound understanding of responsibility and the value of truth. In the days and weeks that follow, the boy works tirelessly to rebuild trust with the villagers and to care for what remains of his flock. His demeanor changes noticeably. Gone is the mischievous prankster, replaced by a more serious and dedicated shepherd. The villagers, seeing his sincere efforts, gradually begin to forgive him, though the memory of that fateful day serves as a constant reminder of the importance of honesty. This simple yet powerful narrative serves as a timeless lesson on the consequences of deceit and the immeasurable value of credibility. It underscores the fundamental truth that trust, once shattered, is not easily rebuilt, and that a reputation tarnished by dishonesty can lead to dire consequences when one is in genuine need of help or belief. The tale of the boy who cried wolf continues to resonate across generations. Its message as relevant today as it was in Aesop's time. It serves as a poignant reminder of the power of our words and actions, and the responsibility we bear for maintaining the trust of those around us. But in a world where misinformation and deception often seem prevalent, this ancient fable stands as a beacon, guiding us towards the virtues of honesty, integrity, and the wisdom of speaking truth. Even when, especially when it matters most.